Good evening. Welcome to the Historical Architectural Review Board meeting for December 9th, 2025. My name is Jennifer Stark, and I am the chair. I'd like to introduce people who are also at the podium with me. To my right, state your name, please.
Michael Kirk, a building inspector.
Jeff Herco.
Stephen Hines, member.
Thank you. The first order of business is approval of minutes from January 14th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I move that it be approved as written.
Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 It's unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is the body bar, which is a signage application. I think that we have somebody here. Great. Come on to the table and you can press the button to get the green light. You can introduce yourself and talk about your application.
Hi, I am Jim Kelly. I work for ADI Construction. I'm the GC performing the build out for the body bar at Lower Makefield Center. Sorry, I kind of got thrown into this at the 11th hour, but my understanding is basically the signage is going to be similar to some of the other ones. It's not lit. There's already an existing light that already kind of shines down onto the brackets. And that's really kind of the extent of the signage for the space.
Just for the record, we have a 2-page document that shows an aerial locating where the store is on Stony Hill Road. And then on the second page, we've got some elevations with photographs and a section of the sign and an elevation of the sign. Does anybody on the committee have any questions?
Let me just ask for the purpose of clarification in your section. It looks to me like there is the signage is attached to something, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So the backer A, is that a .080 backer? That's what's hanging there. Is that the idea?
So basically backer A, correct, is what will be hanging there.
Okay, so B is really not a building wall.
Correct. No, it's actually, there's
freestanding.
There's two, and I have pictures of them as well. There's two existing steel stubs that come down from the building structure, and the sign is going to be mounted to those steel stubs that come down, exactly like the restaurant next door.
Okay, and then D is the lettering that's applied to that backer.
Correct.
Okay.
I caught that as well.
Yeah, we're victim of a template. Jeff, did you have anything?
No, I'm good with it. So it's going to hang on brackets just like the restaurant next door. Because you can almost see them in the picture there.
Mm-hmm. Mike, did you have anything?
No, I don't.
I don't have any questions either. Could we entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it as submitted.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, the next item is other business. Stephen, any business?
Yes, at the end of the minutes from January 14, 25, there was a discussion, a question that was sent to the supervisors about the condition of the restaurant that was what the barn at Prickett's was changed into, and they had gotten from us an approval for an elevation that was significantly different from what was built. And the obvious air conditioning, other mechanical devices that were on the roof were perhaps objectionable from the point of view of the developer, and they put a fence around it as well. So because it didn't look anything like what we approved, was that discussed by the supervisors or by anybody else? And how was the decision derived in order to proceed the way it has been done?
Okay, so for the record, that's a great thing to have memorialized in our minutes. I don't believe we have anybody here who can speak to how that arrived. So we'll put a pin in that one.
Would Mike have any idea of, in terms of inspections and that? I imagine that was done by the third-party inspectors that we had. So,
Yes, I was involved with it too.
oh,
You're talking about LaGrange, correct?
yes.
Yep. It was our third party and I was also involved.
Was there any discussion at that point about, okay, we're putting this up here and it really doesn't look at all like what was approved, and you can hardly see the barn for the most part?
No, because most of the inspections that were done were focused on just the construction, not how it looked.
Hmm.
So, and that was kind of done after the fact.
Okay, well, if there's going to be some discussion at some future time of either consolidating the other board, the commission in this case with Harb, that there should be some discussion about follow through on whatever the decisions are and how that gets taken in stride as we go down the road through the construction process, because there's always going to be things that change. And as Jeff was saying a little earlier, most owners come with their plan of what they're going to do, and once that plan gets underway, it doesn't necessarily always follow through with what we decide. So maybe that's something to discuss as part of the process in order to make this activity that we're doing, the review, be fundamentally worthwhile, because then something will come from it that will be consistent and go on. And especially, I believe that there has been some discussion about an overall plan being developed for the Edgewood Village whole area up there, including, I guess, the intersection and whatever else has to be done. And again, that's only from third party that I've gotten that information. So that it might be something that we just have a consensus on and proceed with when the discussion happens, and bring it into the discussion as something that we've decided as a board.
I think to synthesize that, we could say for the record that the Harb is interested in making sure that enforcement of recommendations and approvals by the supervisors upon those recommendations are carried through.
Perfectly said. So that's a consensus of all of us. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Stephen?
In terms of the actual process that they're looking into, perhaps there should be some consideration given to the experience of the people on HARP before the supervisors sit down and start making decisions about how they want to reorganize that. So if it comes to something more than just a discussion of potentials and becomes what it is that they want to undertake, that we should say that as a board, we'd like to have a representative talk about what it is that we do, the background, the enabling legislation, or I guess back in 88 or 9 when it was undertaken, and I can't remember that anymore myself, but the handbook about how HARB was to be formulated, how it was to function, and what its responsibilities were, both to the state legislation and the local ordinance, that it should be at least reviewed by the supervisors as part of their decision-making process. So let me offer that as another point of discussion, and maybe another consensus that we can arrive and say, when it comes to that point of having some decision being made, that we become part of the discussion.
Yes, how do I want to phrase this? We're a little bit in the dark. I believe that the development and study is happening. I think that there's a legal team affiliated with this process as well. I'm very hopeful that in the new year with our new liaison, we will be invited to the table and we'll be able to talk about the history, the mechanics, the deficiencies that we hope we can improve.
Okay, well, I know that there has been some discussion with the commission, Historic Commission, and they've had some input, and I think they should also get it some part.
Correct. And that's why I'm hopeful that our new liaison will pull us in.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it? Oh, thank you. Jeff, how about you?
Nothing.
Oh, thank you. Mike?
I have nothing.
Okay, well, thank you very much. A motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.